Gitanjali. I'm not going to take names because all of you have already been called out multiple times. To all the teachers, alumni, hopefully some of my classmates are here, students, I'm glad to be here, and I think what you've done so far has really brought back a lot of memories. So I'll share a little bit about myself and my journey with Gitanjali. So in '97, I finished 4th grade in Montessori in Tarapurwala, and then we tried for admission in Begumpet Gitanjali, and we didn't get a seat because I believe that I had to join primary school and then move. So this is for now join in Devshala, and then we'll see once 1 or 2 years passes. And then after 1 or 2 years, we saw this big ground and we thought, okay, this is a better school to be at. So we chose to stay back because the Begumpet school doesn't have such a big ground. And then we used to make a lot of comparisons, and when there's rain, that school gets flooded faster than we do and things like that. When I came to this school, I was quite timid, quite shy as a student. I came from an environment where Montessori was a lot of self-work, you do things alone, and suddenly I came to an environment that was new, so I needed to build social skills. I wasn't able to very much in my first 6 years, and I joined here in '97 and I left in 2004 at the end of 10th grade. My cousin who joined with me was far more boisterous, so she was the second head girl of the school and definitely far more visible to the teachers and the management. But my memories, some of them I should recall because I'm here, positive and negative. Positive was that Montessori was a very open, liberal system, and then my parents were concerned whether I'd get that freedom here. I remember many instances in my classroom where I used to sometimes question the teacher and sometimes even try to find fault with them, but I was always dealt with kindness. And sometimes when I did point out a mistake, in particular I should thank Srinivas sir. I remember in his class he used to accept it also. I didn't have that experience. You spoiled me because I did that in my 11th class and I got a lot of brickbats for doing that. And I also had an incident in this ground where we were playing cricket and there was an incident of bullying, and there was a senior who was not being very nice to me. That incident had passed, it didn't become very serious, but the next day when Srinivas sir came to know, he was like, you should have told me about it. And I think instances like this really bring those connections, and in particular, because we had the minister here speaking from before, but I think the role that the teachers and the educators play here is extremely valuable. I think it's the kind of confidence, the kind of comfort that you create in a young child's mind goes a very long way. So I applaud all the teachers for the work that you've done tirelessly, without personal agenda or glory for so many years. And I thank Dr. Geeta Karan for establishing this school, for building it the way it has. And from my memory, I only knew the women. I only knew you and your daughter. I didn't know your son because he wasn't here, and Mr. Uma Karan because I don't recall seeing him around here. So that's all a woman-led organization. So back in the 90s and 2000, a very empowered woman organization, which isn't very, very common that you see. So I think those are benefits both of the management that you brought, but also of the ICSE system. And I'm glad that you've stuck to ICSE and CBSE. The state board unfortunately suffers from not having as much freedom. I transitioned to 11th and 12th in an intermediate IIT training academy, and I did not do well. I was not a great student here. I was mid-80s maybe, but in Fiji I was struggling to pass. Because it was so intensive. And Srinivas sir was telling me, so this is a happy memory, I was the first student in this school to get 100 on 100 in math. So I thought really, I was full of myself. But when I went to this Fiji, I really got a beating and my self-confidence took because I was struggling to even pass those tests. So I think the challenge here that we have, and because I'm an educator now myself, is the role of education has changed. It's not just about dissemination of knowledge. It's not about regurgitation of knowledge. It's not based on memory as much. Technology has really changed things. We don't need to remember things the same way anymore. It's important that schools adapt. And because I get this opportunity with you all, it's important that administration, teachers realize now that your role is more a curator, a co-creator rather than a teacher. The knowledge is available. And how do you ensure that students actually go through this journey? Because that's the future. Because your students are the products that come to us, because we lead a university and we have many students there. And we see that many students have lost their sense of identity, purpose, passion, have lost innovation. And these are serious challenges. I don't think Gitanjali suffers from that, but I would say the larger school environment suffers from those challenges. And that's why I was asking Mr. J that are you offering 11th and 12th in this campus? Because until 10th it's great, but then those 2 years also damage a young child's mind. I see many alums here who passed out in the last few years. They can attest to that, because when they left here and then they went to some other school, the system is not the same. And I was fortunate to go to the US and relearn and maybe get out of that baggage, but many others don't, and they join colleges in India, and then it just becomes quite an unfortunate trajectory. So whatever introduction was given to me, I've inherited this. I didn't actually build any of this. Geetam was founded by my grandfather. Unlike the children sitting in front of me, in my case, it skipped a generation. So after my grandfather, it was me who got into this role. I've been leading Geetam now for 4 years. It's been a tremendous opportunity to impact young people's lives. The minister was a fellow educator. I mean, I differ on many things with him, but I should acknowledge that he speaks with candor and he's not hypocritical. But at the same time, the role of education is much, much deeper. And I think the work that you're doing, and I think the people who are taking it forward, as an alum, I'm always available to help and give inputs and see that Gitanjali continues the good that it has and builds on what you have so far, but imagine for the future. To all the students who are here and all the parents, I think you've made a good choice by being in this school. I can attest to that as a product of 25 years ago, and I had a great experience, and I hope you are having so too. But I should say that you play a critical role in impacting your children, and if any alums are here, your cousins or siblings. Education's role has evolved, so please don't, while we did celebrate the NEET first ranker, I think that's a broken system. It's a system where they're really forcing people to do a lot that they aren't capable of doing. And what that happens is a few shine, but millions fall out and burn out. So for the parents, grades and marks and ranks are important, but learning is very, very important. A sense of identity, purpose, if they have it, is what's going to take them far in life. Because I'm here now 25 years later, and you ask me what I've learned in school, I don't remember, and I don't have great episodic memory, so I only remember Srinivas sir from my teachers and Vanitha Rao garu, who was the principal. But what I remember was how kind he was to me and what kind of an environment that he created for me. And those are the things that matter, not how much I remembered and how many marks I got. I know this has been a very long event and all of your patience must be tested, but 25 years is a very important milestone. It's one that we all should celebrate. I'm very thankful that I've been given this opportunity. I applaud Dr. Geeta Karan for laying the right foundation for a good schooling system for the city of Hyderabad, and to the children and the family who are taking this work forward, to all the teachers, all the support staff who've been felicitated on stage. Very happy to see familiar faces and very grateful to what you have been in my life. Thank you.